Okay, I'll just have a bit of
Here
my
we
lemon tea.
go. So, my darlings, good evening and welcome to our finale of our Monster Midweek Motivational Series. As I said in the marketing prior to this event, there are not many people that I would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning for. But this lady who is going to steal the show in Denver is going to be the Cristina Munoz show,
I don't think so.
is one such person that I just, I said that, this woman might bring you to tears, but in fact, she might bring me to tears before she brings you to tears. But Cristina, sweetheart, welcome to our Monster Midweek Motivational Series. You are our finale speaker, and there's a reason why I wanted you to speak last. And to our viewers who don't know who we are, my name is Erica. I am one half of the dynamic duo that is Team Alex and Erica. And Cristina Munoz is a shining light who...
It's okay. It's okay, sweetie.
Not a lot of people know this part of the story. Alex and I started our online career in October of 2011. And we had just quit our jobs, and we were making no money at what we were doing in commission-only jobs. And we decided if we put as much effort into our jobs as we did our own business, we would have to be successful. And what happened was we just believed all of those buttons that said, if you hit this now, you're going to be rich really, really fast. And when we weren't making money after a couple of months, we kind of looked at each other and were like, oh my God, what have we done? And then 6 months later, when what we were trying to do wasn't working, we were like, oh crap, what have we done? And I reached out to Cristina. We were kind of dabbling with Empower Network. We weren't really, focusing on it that much. We were trying to make 101 different things work. We'll be talking about focus in a few moments.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't know which direction to go in. We didn't know who to trust. We didn't know what was real. We didn't know what to do. My marriage was falling apart. We were in a bad place. And I remember we didn't have a sponsor at that time because, when Empower Network came out, our sponsor went and did something different, which is fine. It's business. I understand that. But we were so alone. And I remember I reached out to Cristina because she was from Australia and I'm from New Zealand. And I saw that she was doing well. And I saw that she was doing well with Empower Network. And I remember I reached out, and she was the first person I ever shared that story with, that, my marriage was in trouble because we were trying to make this work. And Cristina, darling, you said one thing to me that kept me in the game. And you said, the only difference between you and me is that I've just been doing this longer. And when I read that in my inbox, God, what is wrong with me? It's because it's 4 o'clock in the morning, that's all. And when I read that in my inbox, I'm like, oh my God, she's so right. Because I knew your story, Cristina. I knew that you'd been, doing door-to-door since you were in your 20s. I knew that you'd been, online since about 11 or 12 years. I'm like, what am I comparing myself to? I've been in the game 5, 6 months. What am I comparing myself to? And I made a decision that night that I could not be the only person going through this. And I created, and team, for those of you watching, Team Alex and Erica, I created our Facebook group in the deepest, darkest, saddest moment of my life because I thought if I could reach out and touch one person the way Cristina just touched me and keep people in the game, my journey would mean something. So, Cristina, on that note, I don't think I can talk much more. So, sweetheart, I'm going to hand it over to you. Oh, no, I've got one more thing to say.
Okay.
You put me in the game 1 month longer. I got a couple of emails in June of 2011, I beg your pardon, 2012, that made me go to Atlanta. I wasn't going to go to Atlanta. I was not going to go to that first event. And I went, and I remember I sat right in the front row, and Dave Wood was telling your story from stage, and he called out, he goes, hey, does anyone here know Cristina Munoz? And I shot up my hand, and I go, I do. And he looked at the audience like, who knows Cristina? I said, I do. And you, my darling, know that you are going to be in at Denver, which is a year celebrating, the first event for Empower Network, and we're going to get to hug, God.
Oh, I know. I'm prepared to, like, buy at least 50 boxes of
50,
tissues
yeah.
to take with me there, because I think I'm just going to be crying the whole entire time
Oh, sweetheart. So, darling, take it
we're
away,
there.
sweetheart. You have the floor. Share your story. Let our viewers know, what makes Cristina Munoz so spectacular, how long you stayed in the game, why you stayed in the
Yeah.
game, and just share that message with our viewers tonight.
Okay. Well, Erica, firstly, I've just got to say, hats off to you for not quitting, for not giving up, because often, and here's the thing, and your story, what you went through is not unusual. I would say about 97% of people in our industry feel the way you do. Okay, at one point have felt the way you do. And I think part of the problem is the hype that's out there online. We
Mm-hmm.
hear the stories of someone who joins this and they make 100,000 their very first month, or someone who, comes in out of nowhere and makes even 20,000 their first month, and they're setting the company on fire and doing all of this. And often what is missing, or what we may not understand, is what lies behind that story. Like if you were going to speak to anybody that's successful in our industry, and the truth is there's people far more successful than me. But however, because I've been in the industry for so long, I understand that the road to misery is to compare yourself to others. Okay? You never ever want to compare yourself to anybody. The only person that you want to compare yourself to is yourself. Okay? So if you compare yourself to people who are capable of making 100,000 their first month without fully understanding that the reason why, okay, they're able to do that is often they have come to the table with years of experience, years of time to be able to develop the skill set required to earn that income. They have already gone through the struggle. They've experienced disappointment. They've had to forge themselves in steel, my pet friends, okay, to get to where they are. And when you're just a newbie like a puppy online, okay, you're a puppy, aha, you're hearing all these wonderful stories, and then you're plugging away at it and you're wondering, well, why aren't I making my 10,000 my first month? Why aren't I making, all of that? And then you start to doubt yourself, you start to doubt the vehicle, and that's going to take you to a world of pain, which I know, Erica, you've experienced, and I did as well in my door-to-door days, believe it or not. That's where I learned a lot of my skills that I still use today here in this industry. And there's no need to do that, because, see, once you understand, once you know that it doesn't matter how successful someone is in the industry, whether it's your sponsor or one of the leaders or whatever it may be, but they are where they're at, because of time, okay, that all they have ahead of you is time. That is it. Okay, once upon a time, they were a total newbie as well. Once upon a time, they never had a list. Once upon a time, they had never made one red cent or one dime online. Okay, and when you realize that, then the pressure is sort of off you. Okay, you can just sort of go through the process to build your business, being inspired. Absolutely be inspired, because if there's other people making money in the company that you're with, like us here in Empower, and it's not just the experienced marketers, let's face it, Erica, in my eyes, you are still a newbie. In my eyes,
Thank
with
you.
my training, MLM days and all of that, hello, we were sold on the 3 to 5 year plan. The 3 to 5 year plan, when I first got into MLM in 2001, it was my very first online company, it was an MLM company. The reason why I got online is I damaged my lower discs in a work-related incident in June 2000, found myself a year later on sickness benefits, without a job. I couldn't do a normal job anymore because I had bulging discs in those days. I've caused more damage since then, but my bulging discs, if I tried to sit, stand, or walk for extended periods of time, would just send shooting pains down. So I couldn't do it. So I had to find a way to work from home. And when I first entered the MLM industry, I was very much sold on the freedom and the dream, but that it was a 3 to 5 year plan, And in MLM, you just never saw anybody be able to break through the first level, which I call, you have broken through the sort of newbie stage once. Actually, you have broken through the newbie stage, pardon me, okay? But you really should have been in it a lot longer. Before Empower, I never saw anybody break through the newbie stage within their first 6 to 9 months. It just didn't happen, okay? And by newbie stage, I mean before you've made your first 10,000 a month online. Okay, once you've mastered the skills on how to earn 10,000 a month online with what you're with, you've broken through that first level. That's when, oh wow, when you reach that stage, go and celebrate. I hope you did, Erica.
Oh, we did,
go and celebrate?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Good, you earned it. But you know, with most opportunities, that takes 3 to 5 years. You know, 3 to 5 years to do. It took me close to 3 years to break through the 10,000 stage with my first company. And I had to work 14, 16-hour days to make it happen. You know, chained on the phone, absolutely everything. So here with Empower, the beautiful thing, because we have the education that we do, the events that we do, the training that we do, the leaders that share so much, it can compress time. Okay, so if you're a newbie and you're getting all frustrated, because it's your second week and things aren't happening quick enough for you. Understand if you just get laser focused, okay, follow the 8 core commitments, all right, and just don't give up. Just stay in the game, learn as much as you can, and trust yourself and trust the vehicle. You can break through the 10K per month within 6 to 9 months as well, okay, and be inspired by the success stories you see, because it just means that's what lies ahead for you, because they're everyday people. I'm everyday. I'm no rocket scientist. I'm not a supermodel. I've never even gone to university. The only reason why I've been able to, I guess, achieve a certain level of success in our industry is because of time, really. And I didn't give up either. Yeah. You know. So do you want me to share a little bit about my story?
Darling, yeah? Please do.
Okay.
Please do.
All right. Well, a bit like Erica here, before I found Empower, I was pretty much in a very dark place too. Okay, even though I have 12 years of industry experience and you know, I've been living with chronic pain for years really. In January 2011, we were moving into the house that we are in now. We actually wanted to move closer to town, and so I'd be walking distance to the school. So one of the girls, my daughters, to actually know what it felt like to ride a bike to school and things like that. And previously we were living on 4 acres, a few Ks out of town, which was beautiful, but not very good if you have a dodgy back and you're sort of isolated a little bit. So we were moving into town. I live in Woodend here in Australia, and I love books, okay, and I didn't want anybody packing my books. So because you know, I have a dodgy back and really I shouldn't have done it, but all I did was pack my own books. And through packing my books in a box, I actually compressed my nerves severely and then prolapsed my discs. And what happened was 6 months later I needed to have surgery, and unfortunately the nerves were so compressed that it caused nerve damage. So after the surgery I was basically in 24/7, still in 24/7 nerve pain. The only difference was what it was like. It was like my right leg had an electrical cord wrapped around it, and all it did was just burn. Okay, it just was. It was horrible. Anybody that's known neuropathic pain or nerve pain, you know exactly what I mean. It was just a nightmare. So my leg would just burn. 24/7 it would burn, different degrees of burning. And I had to take OxyContin every single day, Endone for breakout pain every single day. And, you know, taking a pill every morning was the only thing that allowed me to get out of bed. So what happened was all throughout 2011, okay, I was running a different online business then. I was with a high-ticket program, and I couldn't do what needed to be done to be successful anymore. I was in 24/7 nerve pain on a cocktail of drugs. I would be able to cope with the pain to a certain degree, but often by the afternoon it would break out, and then once a month, if not 2 times a month, I would need morphine injections to try and settle it. And I couldn't work 8 hours a day. Okay, once you have the skill with most business models, once you've developed the skill, what you might take 14 hours in the early big days, you know, doesn't take as long. But with most business models, if you want to earn over 10,000 a month, okay, you need to be able to devote full-time hours. That's one of the reasons why the Empower Network was created by David Wood and David Sharp. You know, they hated seeing their part-time people not being able to make decent money. Okay, and that's true. I've lived that. Okay, so suddenly I found myself not able to work 8 hours a day and not able to do any phone work. Okay, because with most business models, you've got to be on the phone. Okay, I never never, I didn't mind that. I mean, that was just part of life and what we did. But when you're on 24/7 cocktail of medication, my phone skills were no longer, let's put it that way. My phone skills, what phone skills? You know, they just were not there. So what happened was all throughout 2011, my income just dropped and I didn't have a job. Okay. My partner then had to find some part-time work because we were struggling to pay the bills. And by February 2012, okay, our credit cards were almost maxed out. Our savings had just about dwindled away, and I had just started seeing a pain management doctor. I'd basically been told by my neurosurgeon that this is as good as it's going to get. There's nothing they could do to fix me, you know, and that I should be grateful it wasn't a terminal illness. Okay. And when I saw my pain management doctor, he pretty much told me the same thing, but in a kinder way. But he said, really, the option now is to get you on various pain management medications to see if there's a way that we can stop the pain signals, and that would be a process. And he said, to be fair and frank, you know, a cure, and by cure, something that it will never, what I have will never be fixed, but something that would actually, not, unless someone knew me, they wouldn't know something was wrong. And there's been lots of wonderful advances being made when it comes to nerve pain, or how to manage nerve pain, how to try and stop the signals from the brain coming down, you know. Could be, but a real full-on cure might not be available for another 5-10 years, you know. But still, it was a journey. We'll have to try the pain management solutions. So it was February 2012, and up until that time, even though I had been an entire year, I hadn't accepted it. I hadn't accepted that this was going to be my life for the rest of my life, you know. I was housebound. For a whole year, I couldn't leave the house, you know. And to think, oh my God, that's going to be the next 5-10 years, I'm going to be housebound. I'm not going to be able to do just simple things like have a shower for a little bit longer, be able to hold my children or go to the park with my children without having to be on a mattress, you know, or even just be able to sit for dinner. I used to have all these little picnics on mattresses on the floor. So in February was a little bit of, I know, it was like a grief, really. And I started feeling like things were a bit hopeless. And I started thinking almost like I was ready to give up, I'll be honest. I was starting to think I couldn't see a way out. I was feeling like I was getting attacked from all sides. No matter what I did, I couldn't make my business work part-time and with what I was living with. All I could see was just, oh my God, we could lose our house by the end of the year if things don't change. Our kids were in childcare a few days a week. That was breaking my heart because my youngest hated it. And I just could not see a way out. And then I had something magical happen to me. When I think of it now, and I'm just going to interrupt this a little bit because it doesn't matter what you're going through or how dark things are, you know, there is magic in our world and miracles do still happen. And I really believe that things happen to you for a reason. You may not know it while you're going through it because it feels like shit, 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 where's the sugar, as Tracy Walker would say. Okay, oh, shit, shit. Okay, but there is, and you've just got to just hang in there, and it's like you can be given a lifeline, and I was given that lifeline, and it came in the form of a wild kookaburra, and I've told my kookaburra story before, but if you haven't heard, I'll share with you now because it was significant. And if anyone who knows me knows that I love to laugh, okay? And I've had an interesting life, and I won't go into everything, but I've had, you know, I know what it's like to deal with disappointment, go through hardship and everything else, but I've never ever lost my ability to laugh. I got that from my mother. My mother was a survivor, okay? She was a survivor, and never matter what happened to me, never lost my ability to laugh. Well, I did at that time. I stopped laughing. Okay, so when this wild kookaburra, and what happened was I was actually out on the decking and I was lying on the piece of carpet because I couldn't sit long enough by the barbecue, and I was just lying there really feeling kind of sorry for myself, frankly, just not knowing, you know, what I'm going to do, just worrying. I was stressed out of my mind, really. And then while I was lying there on the carpet there by the barbecue, suddenly this flurry of feathers came out, okay, and this wild, huge, he was massive, wild kookaburra just perched on the chair right beside me. And I said, oh my God, hi, Mr. Kookaburra, I bet you didn't see me down here. Now, when he saw me, okay, I thought he might fly away because, you know, he didn't. He just stared at me. Big, little bright, beaky, you know, kookaburra eyes. If you're American, it's like a kingfisher, okay. He just stared at me. And then I just looked at him, and I just instantly just got a bit of a kick out. It just gave me a bit of a lift. And then I thought, well, I'm going to stand up and get back inside. And as I got stood up, and I thought he would fly away, but he didn't, I thought, I'll see if he'll let me pat him. I don't know. I just thought, try and pat him. And this wild kookaburra let me pat him. Okay. Couldn't believe it. My partner was in the house taking photos of it, and then I was able to get inside, and then he flew away and perched himself on. And something about that kookaburra just helped lift my spirits. I thought, wow, but it didn't end there. See, but that just had it happen. That might have been a nice little situation, but it didn't end there. A couple of days later, I was actually out on the decking, okay, lying down, and I had some popcorn. And for whatever the reason, I had my mobile phone and my landline with me. I never use my landline, but I had it with me, and I was chatting with an old friend. And I was actually telling her about the kookaburra that visited, that I patted a couple of days earlier. And then while I was chatting on the landline with her, okay, boom, flurry of feathers just came out again and landed right on my popcorn right next to me. I was on the phone. I couldn't believe it. I said to Maria, the kookaburra has just come back. He was actually trying to eat the popcorn. It was absolutely mind-blowing, and so I was there and I was able to take some photos of the kookaburra there next to me. And after that, the girls were actually swimming. They weren't swimming, and I sent the photos to them. The photos of the kookaburra went all over Woodend, I think, in a matter of like two hours. But something about that, I don't know, it just gave me joy. Okay. And, my friend was just saying, well, what does a kookaburra mean? And through doing a little bit of research about kookaburras, I thought, I think it might be my spirit bird. And then I think, it's very possible my mother may have sent him. I feel like maybe it was my mother that sent me this bird. Whatever, it was a magical experience to me. And it was then I decided, well, no, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. There has to be a way. Okay, there has to be a way that I can support my family again. There has to be a way to be able to build a business online with part-time effort, okay, where I don't have to be on the phone because of all the medications I'm on. Okay, so I started searching. And the funny thing is, I'd actually seen Empower 4 months earlier, but I just thought it was another of those flavor of the month deals, okay. I didn't take it seriously at all. I was still trying to make whatever I was doing work. And this is important. Sometimes you've got to be ready for the information. You've got to allow yourself to be open. And if you're in a negative headspace like I was at that time before the kookaburra, you won't see the solution that's right there in front of you, okay? But if you allow yourself to be open, or find a way to be able to be open to receive the information, the solution, when it arrives, you will see it. And that's exactly what happened to me. So it was March, and it was a few days before the anniversary of my mother's death, believe it or not. My mother died when I was 25. And I watched the video, and I just knew. Okay, I don't know. I can't even express it. I just knew, oh, I'm going to do this. I didn't sign up that instant. I waited a few days until the anniversary of my mother's death, so I'll always remember the day. I joined the Empower Network on March 30th, 2012, because I wanted something special to remember that day with, and tie something, meaningful to it. And then what happened after that changed my life, What happened was, all I wanted to do when I first started was just support my family again. Okay, I'd lost all my confidence. I started, and I really just forgot everything I knew. That's a big thing. I didn't start, every time I went through the training and went through the products, I didn't question everything. I didn't say, oh, well, that's not how I've done it for 12 years. I'll do it my way. Oh, I think it's better if we do it this way. No, I didn't. I did everything that David Wood tells us to do, everything that was in the products I did, decided to do. And what I decided to do at that time, we had a part-time plan, because I could only work part-time. And I basically managed my business from mattresses on the floor, and when it got too bad, I'd go into bed with a laptop table. So my first goal, and this is important, you need to have a very clear focus and a very clear goal about what you want to achieve. So if you're already with the Empower Network, okay, if you're not, join, whoever sent you here. If it's Erica, join her, okay, whoever it is, join, okay. Then you want to go through lesson 1 and the 15K formula, because in that, and this is critical, okay, the how means nothing unless you've got your why sorted out. Okay, you've got to really be clear about your first goal. And that lesson 1 will walk you through how to create a 90-day plan, how to set an intent, and how to really get clarity on what it is you want to achieve. Okay, because when you have the clarity, it's like your brain then kicks into gear and it starts to notice anything that's going to help you reach that goal. Okay, so that's what I did, and I decided my first goal is I just want to make $8,000 a month. Okay, that's what I need to earn to be able to get my family back on track. So I followed the part-time plan, which is basically help one person get started at the 25 every day at that time. And I knew that to do that, numbers-wise, okay, I needed to generate 10, 15 opt-ins into my system watching the sales video every single day. Now, here's what's really important. When you start something, you can do it fast or you can do it slow. And I can tell you right now, it's much better to do it fast and slow any time of the week. Okay. Now, I'm going to teach you something here that has been a powerful lesson to me, which I learned back in my door-to-door days. Okay, and if you can accept this lesson about what you're setting out to create, you can actually avoid years of pain. Okay, or definitely months of pain. And this is understanding that when you start anything, okay, so even if you've been running for a few months or a year, or maybe you've just started yesterday, okay, here's what you need to know, okay, you've got to set the pace for your team before you even have one, okay? Right? You've got to set the pace for your team before you even have one. I learnt this in my door-to-door days. And when you start something, you have an opportunity to create a story as quickly as possible. Now, if you can create a first month, second month, 3 month, 6 month story that your story just continues to build, okay, that's incredibly powerful, not just for you, but for your team that are out there waiting for you. Okay, so the first thing is understanding that you're going to go through the process when you start off, and it happens to everybody, okay, of building momentum, okay? And momentum, if you've never built it before, takes 3 to 6 months to build, okay? When you know how to build momentum, if you've gone through the process of building momentum, you can do it in a matter of 2 weeks, so that's a reward for you, okay? But if you never have before, okay, it's going to take usually 3 to 6 months, okay? So you do not want to, once you get going and you've got your plan, be hapsadaisical about it. You want to get into massive action because you want to get your momentum built as quickly as possible. So what's momentum? Well, you know, sometimes I'll get emails, you know, from someone who's in action and they've generated 200 leads their first week, but they haven't got any sales. Okay, I've generated 200 leads and I haven't got any sales, but I've got some unpaid sign-ups or what have you. Now, whenever I get emails like that, I think fantastic. Okay, that's exactly what's meant to happen. Now, sometimes you can get lucky, okay, when you're building momentum and get what I call an ace in the pack early. And I'm going to teach you about the law of averages if you've never heard it before, a fun way that I was taught it back in my door-to-door days. But the law of averages are key and a part of how you actually build your momentum, okay, because what happens is as you go through the process and you're marketing daily, blogging daily, you're following the 8 core commitments and you're filling your funnel every single day, people, you know, aren't always ready to act right away, okay? So you're going to have people that will join you 6 months down the track, 3 months down the track. But if you just keep filling your funnel regardless of outcome, you don't even think about the money. Value your learning. Value the learning how to go through the process. Value learning over money. Just go through the process regardless of outcome. What will happen is in 3 to 6 months' time, you'll be doing exactly the same thing, but your results will be woo, because you'll have people who weren't ready to act when you first started who are now ready to act now. But you've got to go through the process and not pull the plug. A bit like Erica. She could have pulled the plug that month, but she stayed with it. She kept going, and bang, a month later, everything started coming together for her. So to help you understand what the law of averages are, it's wonderful. Okay? The law of averages, I like to explain them a bit like a deck of cards. Basically, in my door-to-door days, it's every no brings you closer to a yes. Okay, the only difference is with what we do online, you're not getting told no to your face. Okay, there's nobody slamming doors and no, go away. What are you here for? There's nobody slamming doors in your face telling you no. There's nobody over the phone telling you no. Okay, I've done telemarketing too. Okay, your system is dealing with the no's. Okay, beautiful. Okay, you're filling in your funnel. People are watching the sales video. You're not having to present anything. Okay, the funnel is doing it, and as your opt-ins all come through and the people come through, okay, and you're broadcasting to your list and adding value and, you know, doing what you need to do, your system is sifting and sorting. So people who aren't joining, well, you're not getting any rejection at all. Okay, what will happen is your aces will come out, and it's a bit like a pack of cards. Okay, so they're what, 52? I'll get confused. 52, 54 cards.
52. Yep.
52. There you go. Well, I do know, because I'm focused on the aces, Erica. Okay. That's why I don't know how many cards are in the deck. I'll go through, if it was 200 cards in the deck, I'd go through them. Okay. Pardon me. I'm getting over a virus. Okay. So we know that there are 4 aces in the pack. Okay. Now, if you were to shuffle a pack of cards, okay, and if I were to tell you, okay, take this pack of cards, okay, and go through every single card and find those 4 aces. Do you think you could do that? Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you believe that the aces are there?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Of course, the aces are there. Now, if you went through every single card, okay, and you didn't get to the aces to the end of the pack, would that upset you?
No. Depends.
No, I mean,
if I know they're there.
They're there. Okay. Okay. Well, that's what momentum is like. Okay, that's what, when you're building momentum, it's the law of averages is at work. And if you know that on average, okay, if you're blogging daily, doing the marketing as you're directed, that for every 10, 15 decent leads, I'm not talking about crappy traffic, okay, but decent leads that you generate, okay, it's going to help you sign up help one person at the 25 get started. Okay, that doesn't mean every 10, 15 leads, boom, you're helping someone get started. Another 10, 15 leads, boom, someone joins you. No. Okay, what happens is it's all spread out. So if you keep consistent and keep doing that 10, 15 leads every single day, to clarify, you're not building momentum if you're generating 2 leads a day or 1 lead. That's not momentum, okay? You're not really starting to build momentum until you've mastered how to generate 10, 15 leads a day, which is not hard. Just get stuck into your 15K formula. Okay, we have people that can generate 300 leads a day, and if not more. It's just 10, 15 leads a day. You don't have to be, you don't need ridiculous numbers to make this work, people, I'm telling you. Okay, 10, 15 leads a day is all it takes. 20 leads a day, watch out. Okay, so basically 10, 15 leads a day, you do that every single day for 3 months. What I like to do when I'm building momentum is I normally crunch my numbers after 3 months and see what it averages out to. Okay, so I actually found when I crunched my numbers after my first 3 months with Empower that, lo and behold, okay, I was helping 1 person a day get started at the 25. And you may find your numbers as you crunch them every 90 days get better. If they don't, then you might need to tweak your marketing. Maybe you bought some, and I've done that, I've bought some easy traffic that maybe I need 20, 30 leads to generate 25. So once you understand that, there's your pack of cards going. Now, the thing is trusting the law of averages, that it's going to come out of the wash for you, okay? And I really want you to trust it. And how I'm going to tell you a bit of a story about what made me realize that the law of averages was real, okay? Because once you believe in something, then you're not going to question it, you're just going to go for it. And how I learned, never forget this, it was actually not long after I got started in door-to-door, and I've been taught every no brings you closer to a yes, and I've been told to trust the law of averages and so on when I was out in the field. And I had what was, I guess, my most difficult day out in the field ever. Okay, it was my first really, really difficult day. And what happened was I was actually had to get out in the field about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I would also train people. It's kind of funny. It had a similar, like an affiliate program, but offline. Okay, so I would take often men. It's a very much male-dominated industry. Okay, take these three big burly men out with me for what we called an observation day, and they would watch me, you know, out in the field knocking on doors. And we used to sell like dining cards, 2-for-1 dining cards for $20. So what happened was, it was a cold winter day, okay, here in Melbourne, and I was out there on the field at 8 o'clock with my umbrella and my bodyguards. I used to call them to break the ice at the door. And then what happened was, by 12 o'clock midday, they had disappeared. Okay, now, you got to learn how to deal with disappointment. Yes, sometimes you're going to recruit people, or people are going to join you and they're going to quit. Okay, they're going to be a wussies. I mean, we do have a no wussy policy, but some get through. I know. They're your jokers in the pack, okay? I call them the jokers in the pack. They'll join and, yes, I'll do it, but then the first little thing, they just quit. Well, you can't help someone like that, okay? You're looking for your aces even in your team. Okay, you're looking for those that will follow the training. Okay, so you've got to learn to deal with disappointment, not worry about it. As you help many people get started, the cream will rise to the top. Your aces will show themselves, and that's who you're going to really be able to help. Those that are willing to do what it takes. Okay, but back to even just building a team. Okay, having people to actually work with. Okay, or making sales. Okay, that day, 12 o'clock, I don't even know how many doors I had knocked on. The three people I'd taken out for the day had quit, left, boom, just went. Okay. I had lost my umbrella, so I was like, wet.
Oh, no.
Okay. It was cold, it was freezing, hadn't made a single sale. Okay. By 2, 3 o'clock, I think it was 3, maybe it was 3 o'clock, okay, I had totally lost my attitude. This is the other thing, you've got to really keep your attitude going. This is why it's so important. We teach this, to listen to audio, read daily, and so on, because you need to keep your energy where it needs to be so you can attract what you need to attract. But I had totally lost my attitude, okay, totally lost my attitude, and I found myself walking like a mad woman, okay, around a telephone pole. It was actually in Beaumaris, okay, around the telephone pole, and I was talking to myself too, bawling, and then I just started crying like a baby. Okay, I haven't made any sales yet. What am I doing? I was like 22 years old, and I was like saying, you know, why am I doing this? You know, I'm a writer, I'm a poet, I shouldn't be out here, nobody's buying anything, okay? All this thing, the law of averages is not working. I haven't made anything single sale. And then I would literally just sat down on the gutter, and if anybody had been home in their windows, because it was a residential area, they must have thought, who is this crazy girl? Okay. Sitting on this gutter, I remember I had a green jacket, black pants, and a bit of a bob, and I was a lot skinnier than I was because I walked every day. And just there on this gutter. And then it was like my grandmother. Okay, I thought of my grandmother, you know, and the reason why I thought of my grandmother was because my grandmother actually sold door to door, went door to door in the Spanish Civil War and sold lemons rather than prostituting herself. Okay, and my mother used to tell me that story about my grandmother, and so I thought, and it was like her saying, don't be a wussy, Christina. It really was that. It was like her saying, just get yourself together and get back out there. You think that's hard? What you're doing is hard? Try selling lemons door to door in the Spanish Civil War, you know. So, you know, I sort of got myself all back together, had my little cry and got myself back together, and then I started thinking, okay, Abuela, okay, the law of averages, every no brings you closer to a yes. Okay, so I went back out on the field, and I had my little map, my territory, and I went back to every single door that I had knocked on that nobody was home. Now, this is kind of important. It's another lesson. This is why you need to market daily, okay, because you never know where your aces are. Okay, and if you wake up or you decide you don't want to market that day or whatever it is, that could be your ace. That could be your future Tony Rush. Think about that. Okay, your future Erica. Okay, you could miss out on Erica if you don't market that day. Ooh, that puts a different spin on it, doesn't it? Well, here you go. I then went, this is when I finally realised the truth of all of that. I then went back to knocked on all those doors. Then within a 2-hour period, I had reached my target for that day. I had to sell 15 a day is what you wanted to set the pace for your team. We used to get back to the office and ring a bell. Ring, ring, ring. And that let everybody know that we had set the pace that day, a bit like our two a day here. You know, we had set the pace that day so your team knew. So sometimes you do have to go the extra mile, and you need to do that here. So for me, when that all happened, it was like, oh my God, the law of averages works. It really works, you know. Now, I could have quit while I was walking around that pole. And I thought about quitting, you know. I could have left, bugger this, like a lot of people did in those days, but I had a very strong why then too. And so what happened was I didn't quit, and then it all came together for me, and I realized that the law of averages works. Okay, so if I take you back now, when you understand that the law of averages works, you just got to be willing to play the numbers, be willing to do the activity, roll up your sleeves and get to work. Okay, sometimes you have to be willing to do things that you don't want to do for a while to be able to do whatever you want to do, whatever you want, whenever you want for the rest of your life. Okay, and it's worth it, because here's what happens is when you go through that process, and yeah, you're going to get challenged, you're going to go through disappointments, but if you just trust that process, it's going to make you better. You're going to become stronger. You're going to become far more skilled. You're going to become developed and forged in steel too, and it's going to make you a better leader. It's going to make you a better speaker. It's going to make you better everything. Okay, so if I take you back now to when I started in Empower, that 30th of March, all of that was there. This is what I want you to know before I tell you what I'm about to say. All of that was there. I knew I needed to do it fast, not slow. I knew, because of all the lessons I had learned, I knew I needed to set the pace from day one. So I didn't take a month going through everything. I just went for it and followed the plan. And so what happened was my first month, yes, I broke the 8,000. I continued to follow the plan. By my second month, I broke the 10,000. But I had done that in the past. But I couldn't do it all through 2011. This is the thing that you need to understand. Okay, I couldn't do it anymore during 2011. This is the difference. Okay, and I cannot begin to tell you how powerful that is, and I will in a second explain to you why it's important to you. But just to share what happened with me, then after that, you know, at 6 months I made my first 100,000. You know, by the end of my first year, my first 200. So far, I think I've been involved 15 months, and I've made over 260,000 part time.
Well done,
Okay,
darling. Well done.
you know, and it's not the income. For me, it's what the income represents, which I was unable to do in 2011. I was still the same person. I was still the same. This is what blows me away, and why I want you to take this gift that you have and this vehicle that you have access to heart, and just do it whatever it takes, no matter how long it takes you, because you're going to get there faster, quicker, and easier than with any other vehicle before. Because when I was building my Empower business, understand, I was in 24/7 nerve pain for most of it. Okay, I couldn't attend the events. Okay, I could only work part-time. And I remember a year ago you were saying, like a year ago, just July, just before the Atlanta event, and you know, I think I had earned over 30,000 my first 3 months. And Dave, I guess, qualified for some things there at the first event, and David Wood actually got in contact with me, and I had to come clean, and he wanted me to come there for the leaders stuff, you know, before the event starts. And I actually had to reply back and explain to him my situation and why I couldn't go, and I'd give anything to go, but I'm housebound and I have 24/7 nerve pain, and you know, I can't do it, you know. But you know, here's what's magical too, in the heart that this company has. Okay, he could have written me off. He could have said, well, there's this Australian girl all the way up here. Okay, great that she's doing well, that's fantastic, but you can't get to the events. Well, I'm not going to promote someone who can't get to the events. I'm not going to acknowledge someone who can't get to the events. Believe me, I've been there. I've had that happen to me, you know, in the past, because I've lived with chronic pain for a long time. Yeah. Just not as bad as that. Instead, no, he actually interviewed me on a hangout. After that, you know, he even, you know, referred me to his brother Will, who's a hypnotherapist, to see if, when he found out that I needed 3 morphine injections in September, okay, last year, to see if there's a way mentally I could try and deal with the pain better, and that was a godsend. I didn't need any morphine after that. And really, I guess the support that I had from the company, from the owners, and from the whole wider community, like Erica reaching out to me, and you know, as my story got out there, and just the support that came right back to me, the love that came right back to me, really just gave me a fire. Now that I guess I had, looking after my family was sorted, of finding a solution, of finding a way to get the pain signal switched out. So what happened was, by the end of 2012, and David Sharp at that time was trying to get me to Austin, but I was still struggling to get to the toilet, you know. It was,
darling.
It was horrible. You know, it was like, oh my, by then I had tried every single drug. I was like a guinea pig the whole entire year. They were full on. We were left with the big guns, going and getting a ketamine infusion. If that didn't work, a spinal cord stimulator. There were only 2 things left I could try. Okay. And it was like late November, December, and David said, well, maybe there's a way I can get you to Austin and see if we can make that happen, you know. And I couldn't even get to the toilet. You know, toilet back was a major challenge, you know. And I'm thinking, oh, am I kidding myself that, you know, that am I just dreaming to think that there's gonna be a solution, you know? Maybe I'm just kidding myself. But again, I guess it's the thing that is anything is possible, you know. I guess the strength I've been able to gain, the extra inspiration I've been able to gain from this community and from the belief that people will have in you. I've never experienced this in any other online business of any kind, my entire, you know, almost 12 years online. Okay, the closest I've ever come to this sort of spirit has been in my door-to-door days, because we worked in an office and it was all these full of young people, and you know, we worked, played together, and you know, everything. That's probably the only time I've felt that before. Before that, it's been quite lonely, which it not often can be. But here, you know, I've never felt, oh, wow, how to be connected to such a special group of people, and that brings that. And this is important, because when you're around a business and a community of people that will be there to support you and to inspire you, you know, even as you start reaching your goals, they'll help you set more that you think, well, maybe it is possible. So I started, really believing, no, don't give up here. Now you've got to do the ketamine infusion. I was scared about doing the ketamine infusion. It's 7 days in hospital, attached to a machine that they put a thing straight into your inner, I don't even know, vein, and you're basically a guinea pig too. But I thought, well, you don't know until you give it a go. I've got to do it, you know. And I thought, at the minimum, if it helps me get off the drugs, that was the main goal. If it just does the job of what the OxyContin and everything does, that will be a win. Okay, I didn't believe it would give me any function back, really. I just thought, if it just gets me off the drugs, that's going to be a huge win. I'll be delighted with that. Well, again, everything happens for a reason. We're all on our own journey, you know. So this is a big thing. Take a risk. You know, when things are offered to you, don't discount and think, oh, it won't work, or it might work for her, but it's not going to work for me. If you live with chronic pain and you have tried everything surgically, there's no surgical fix for you. If you're having to take a whole bunch of pain management medications and so on, you know, go to your pain management doctor and ask about a ketamine infusion, because it's changed my life. It's given me back the opportunity to get on top of my health again and lead some sort of normal life again, where I can, for example, be headed to Denver, which I thought would never have happened a year ago. You know, so the ketamine infusion, yes, it helped switch off the nerve pain. My God, for the first time I didn't have to take a pill. For 2 years I lived like that, having to take a pill to be able to get out of bed. You know, I used to dream of what it would be like to wake up in the morning and not be in pain, because the pain would wake me up. That's when I'd take my pill. You know, this morning I thought about it. Oh, God, it's nice. I like to just lie there when I wake up, and it's wonderful to be able to wake up in your own time, you know, when I wake up and just, there's no pain. Oh, my God. I can't tell you what that means. And if I hadn't have done that ketamine infusion, I'd still be on a mattress on the floor, still be in 24/7 pain, still be all of that. Instead, taking the risk of having done that meant that I could do rehab. So I had to learn how to sit, stand, and walk again. You know, so I've just finished rehab now. They've given me the okay, and now I'm able to go to Denver. Okay, so I guess when I share my story here with you is take a risk. Okay, take some chances. Understand that nothing ever happens to you that you're not able to deal with. You are strong enough to deal with it right now. Okay, whatever it is that you're going through, you are strong enough to deal with it right now. And don't be afraid to share yourself, and to allow others into your life, and to allow others to inspire you, and to put yourself in those situations, because they give you the inner strength when those days you don't have it. And I'd had those days. There'd be some days I just, the pain would be so bad. But what would help was knowing that I wasn't just doing it for me. And when you know that what you're setting out to do is not just for you, that can often give you the extra impetus to go the extra mile. And how I learned to go the extra mile is my door-to-door days too. Okay, you know, stay out in the field that extra hour to make those few extra sales, so I would set the pace for my team. Okay, so if you struggle to do it for you, do it for your family, do it for your children. When I think of my daughters, to this day, they still motivate me. I didn't want my daughters to grow up, be 20, and then think of their mum, okay, who's just been this blob on a mattress, who's never tried to do anything, okay, who let it beat her, who, you know, who maybe even, you know, ended up taking a life because of it or something like that. That's not the example I wanted to leave with my daughters. I want my daughters to know that no matter what happens in their life, no matter what challenges they have to face, no matter what adversity they're going to have to be faced with and overcome, that they will have the strength to overcome it. Okay? And the only way I could leave that legacy for my daughters is if they see it happening with me. Okay? So my daughters are like 6 and 4 now, okay, and they have an understanding. They're very protective of me. They're still getting used to the idea that I can stand, that I can sit, that I can go out with them, you know, go to a movie. They can't believe it, you know. They're still really excited about it. But I know as they get older and they sort of understand, it'll be a lesson for them too, you know, that they'll be able to achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve too. So really, if you need to think of your children, frankly, you know, because they do what you do, not what you say. You know, we all know that. Like your team do. They do what you do, not what you say. So think about that, and that can help you really get some extra strength to go through the process as well, because you're not just doing it for you. And then the gift that comes, you know, the inspiration, you know, that to have an opportunity to inspire someone like Erica. And this is important. Once you achieve success too, there's a responsibility with that, and every successful person knows that they've achieved whatever level of success, because we all know what it felt like to be a newbie. We all know what it felt like to go through the process. You know, it's important to remain compassionate and have empathy, and when someone reaches out to you, take the time to respond. I mean, I'll be honest, sometimes I get an email and someone saying, oh, I gave this a try and I quit, you know, because it's just a pond-size scheme or whatever it is. Look, I get emails like that. I'm not talking about that, okay? If you, I get emails whenever I get, you know, that sort of thing. You know the movie The Exorcist? You know when Linda Blair's head just spins? That's what I get the urge to do. Never saw the whole movie. Just that scene alone was enough for me. But that's basically the urge I get. My head just wants to spin whenever I get ridiculous emails like that, and I don't even bother to reply. But when someone genuine comes through, they just want a bit of advice, or just, you know, just want to connect. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I know all the leaders here in Empower do that. Yeah. Dee and Justin, you do too. Oh, yeah. I bet you do. Yeah. Because we've had that happen to us. We've had someone that we've gone through, and I've had people in my life. You don't do it alone, okay? You can do it alone, but it'll take a hell of a lot longer, and it's not as much fun. Okay, much more fun to do it with other people, you know, that have helped me too. And then you can just, oh, wow, what lies ahead could blow you away, you know. You can help you uncover your true purpose, your true potential when you're not worried about money. And there's so many wonderful things there if you just, and you can achieve it all here with Empower within 6 to 9 months, not 3 to 5 years. But you've got to knuckle down, be willing to go through the process of building momentum and just make it happen, you know. No try. Try is about failure. You don't try. You either do it or you don't. Okay, you've got to be willing to accept personal responsibility. You got to. If you do now, fantastic. That's a big lesson. Accepting personal responsibility. I learned that in my MLM days as well as my door-to-door. You've got to accept personal responsibility, because when you do, then you're actually tapping into your own power. Because if you don't accept personal responsibility, you think, well, I failed because, you know, it's saturated. There's too many people doing it, you know, and that's why I failed. Or I failed because this doesn't work, or whatever it is. If you place blame, what good does that serve? I mean, really. All that's going to happen is you're going to go and join something else. You'll fail at that. Rather than look in the mirror and see what you could have done differently and maybe learn from your lessons, okay, you're going to blame that too. And you'll continue blaming until hopefully one day you wake up and look, I have been involved in 50 different opportunities and I've never been able to make a single one work. Okay, yet every single opportunity I've been involved in has had people succeeding. Why not me? Okay, and you may need to, you know, look in the mirror and ask yourself some tough questions and say, well, I never stuck at anything long enough. I kept looking for shortcuts when there are none. Okay, I didn't value learning over money. I kept trying to find the secret, or kept trying to, you know, find a shortcut, or kept, you know, placing blame everywhere. I never really just sat down, found a home, and just allowed myself to go through it, regardless of what happened, didn't give up, kept learning, kept humble, okay, and just made it happen. Because you can make the decision to do that right now. I don't care if you've failed for the last 30 years online. I really don't, okay, because you can do it. You can do it, okay? You can do it if you just slow down, get clear about what you want to do, don't let the hype affect you, okay? And just sit down, make a plan, and commit to it. Commit to yourself, commit to your business, commit to your team. Don't keep joining 50 different things. You need focus, okay? You need to commit to one thing. That's how you create magic. You know, you don't go, well, I want to get married, so I'll marry 50 different people. Do you? No. That's not commitment, okay? You know, well, some people might, you know, there's people that do marry a few different people. I'm not making any judgments, but, you know, but it would be harder, I think, if you had 3 wives or 4 husbands. I mean, it'd be hard to really make everybody happy, don't you think? You know, anyway, well, having more than one opportunity. Okay, yes, I know all about building multiple streams of income, but unless you've mastered how to build one first, all you're going to build is multiple streams of expenses. Okay, so, you know, just stick with one, make it happen. If you want to add other streams, that's fine in the future, but first make a commitment to yourself and the business you're building, and don't give up until you get there, because often the miracle's on the other side when it's the toughest. Suddenly the penny will drop, you will get it, and then you'll break through, and it will never be like that again. When you break through that first 10K, oh wow. I mean, you'll have other breakthroughs too. Don't think you won't have challenges and things, but it'll never be like that. It will never be as hard or as personally challenging as it is there. It's a bit like, you know, a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, really. You know, it struggles. Nobody can do it for you. That's the other thing to let go. Nobody can do it for you. You have to do it for you, okay? You've got everything you need to be able to do it, but it's you that has to do it. So like the little, you know, caterpillar that's turning into a butterfly and it's struggling, nobody opens it up and lets it out. That's the beauty in it. That's the magic in it. That struggle when that caterpillar comes out as a butterfly, that's you. When you are there doing it and struggling, but you don't give up and you just keep going and you reach out for help. If you need a little lift, get into an inner circle, contact Erica, contact me, whatever. We'll give you a little lifeline if you need one, a little bit of a lift in your energy. Well, then from there, okay, you're going to break through. You'll turn a butterfly. You'll be making $10,000 a month. I broke through. Believe me, it feels wonderful the first time that happens. Okay, and then never ever forget what it was like, and you know, help the caterpillars. Let the caterpillars know they can be butterflies. Okay, because you can. You know, doesn't matter if you live with pain or whatever it is, but I do, you know, it's interesting because sometimes I get, well, yeah, Christina, but how did you do it? You know, how, you know, look, everything happens for a reason. And bluntly, if I hadn't have had all my childhood, my experiences in my 20s in door-to-door, telemarketing, customer service, then 5 years in MLM working 14, 16-hour days, then virtually doing everything affiliate kind of program you can possibly imagine. If I hadn't had all those experiences, I don't know if I would have been able to build with Empower, with the pain and everything I was in. I don't think I would have. You know, even though I couldn't do it with my other opportunity, it was all of that at least gave me the, I had learned all those lessons, so I didn't have all of that to go through. I've had learning all the time, of course. I've made more here than I ever have in anything else, quicker than anything else, because of what I've been learning here, okay? But it's because of that, you know. So it's not, you know, anything, you know, particularly special or anything. It's just purely because of the experience that I've had that I was able to bring to the table, you know. So I hope this helps you. I have talked quite a while, haven't I?
Just a word to our viewers. I did say to Christina beforehand, it is a 30-minute hangout, but if you're on a roll, honey, just roll.
Yes. I never could say anything in 25 words or less. It's a great song, in fact, by Jeanette Napolitano. She's a rock poet. If you don't know me, I love music. Okay, yeah. So when it comes to blogging, if you're blogging daily, definitely blog daily, but blog about what you're passionate about and love. You know, often every now and again I'll throw in one of my favourite songs or whatever on my blog. You know, you've got to have some fun at the same time. But there is a great song called Little Conversations by a highly underrated 1980s, 90s band called Concrete Blonde. And the lead singer, you remember Concrete Blonde, most known for Joey, baby. That's everybody knows Joey. Oh, there is more to Concrete Blonde than Joey. Absolutely. The DJ in me's coming out now. But basically, Jeanette Napolitano, she's a rock poet. And in Little Conversation, she says, I never could say anything in 25 words or less. And I can so relate to that. Yes.
Darling, God bless you. God bless you. I just want to really pick up on one thing that you said over and over again that really sinks home to me, and hopefully to our viewers as well, is value learning over money.
Yeah.
And and that's the key, because the more you learn, the more you can teach, the more value you bring to the marketplace. And guess what happens then? That's when the money flows, when people see that you can add value. But where do you get the value from? You get it from your learning. So, darling, I'm so glad you impressed upon that, because so many people, you know, they want the money so fast, but they're not prepared to put in the hard yards to get the learning. And where do you get the learning? It's from the training. And where's the training? It's in the products. You know,
fall in love with it. Absolutely, fall in love with going through the process, because it doesn't have to be horrible. It can be lots of fun, and get really curious and get really excited about the fact that you're learning how to become an expert marketer. I mean, I just feel like a kid in a candy store. I mean, I'm telling you, here we are just about to go to Denver, you know, and if you haven't got your ticket, get it. Oh, yeah. If I can get there, well, I've had to go through to be able to get there. My Lord, okay, get your ticket and go, okay? I'm even going business class. I've got meet and assist services, organising. I'm doing whatever it takes. But I've been preparing for the last year to get for this moment. The reason why, okay, so I want to meet my team. I want to meet you and all the, you know, everybody there. But the main reason why is, and why I feel like I'm a kid in the candy store, is it's because of my love of learning. You've got to fall in love with learning, okay? Because it's your value, who you are as a person, as it continues to grow, your income grow. You don't even have to think about it in your money in the end, because it takes care of itself. But it's because Empower has, like, seriously, the best marketers, network marketers, affiliate marketers, the best minds in the industry are part of our company. When do you get the opportunity to go somewhere and get to literally be around the best, the cream of the crop in your industry? I mean, that's why I feel like a kid in a candy store. I'm actually going to be able to, you know, do you feel that I do? To be able to, you know, it's priceless. It could be in person, have a drink at the bar or whatever it is, or dinner, and because it'll be a lot of fun too, and pick up the gems that are there. There's people that make, you know, that make 10 times more than me or what have you. That's priceless to have the opportunity to do that. I mean, I've never been involved in anything where I've had the opportunity. I've never been to an event. I've had to get my learning through books and audios and so on. Never had the opportunity or physically been capable of really attending events until now. So that's just so exciting. And so if you value the learning, and every single person that's gone to the events has transformed through it, and it's through the learning that they've had that you can't just get any other way. You know, it can accelerate your progress. It can compress the time it takes for you to get to whatever next level is for you. So get yourself your ticket for Denver. Go. I can't wait to meet you. Erica can't wait to meet you. And learn as much as you can. Just absorb everything. Take heaps of notebooks. I am. Video, photo, you name it. And then apply it into your business, and you'll break through the next level a lot faster. I've seen it happen with others. I've seen it happen with you, Erica. You know, you attending to that event was a key milestone for you.
Absolutely, it was a complete turning point. You know, and you know, you talk about, you know, people dropping gems. Well, you know, you were the first person that, you know, kept me in the game just one more month, and then when I got to Atlanta, you know, everyone knows my story. It was Tony Rush. I mean, there was a whole weekend of people speaking. But he said one thing, just one thing. He said, I was living on the wrong side of the tracks, and I said, you know what, bugger this. I'm going to move my family to the other side of the track. I'm shifting my mindset, and I'm going to make shit happen, you know? And I heard that, I'm like, I'm living on the wrong side of the tracks. So I went home, and I moved.
Yeah, you now travel the world.
And I just created this massive momentum because of one sentence on stage from Tony Rush. And every event, there's one more gem that makes you go, oh man, and you take that home and then boom, you do something bigger with it, you know. And I know, sweetheart, that when you get on stage in Denver, trust me, you're going to steal the entire event. It's going to be the Cristina Munoz show. Trust me.
I don't know
people have been waiting to meet you. No, darling, people have been waiting to meet you. They've been wanting to see you and hear your story. And you've been such an inspiration to thousands in our community. And I bow down to you, sweetheart.
Such an inspiration to me. I mean, you know, again, things happen for a reason. I don't regret anything that I've gone through, and you know, I didn't enjoy the pain part of it. It was not fun. Even now, I have to pace myself, and you know, I have a bit of aches and things, but the nerve pain, thankfully, is gone, and I know that it can only get better. And there are things. Hopefully, I'm continuing to improve, really, you know, just working towards building more strength, and that will come over time. I might reach a plateau. I don't know. Ketamine may wear off. If it does, I'll just go and get another one, you know. So, but I don't regret anything because if it hadn't have happened, I wouldn't be here with you now, you know. If it hadn't have happened, you know, I wouldn't be who I am now. Everything happens to you for a reason, but when things happen or things get challenging, there's a lesson there too. There's a reason for that, and don't fear it, you know. Try not to fear it. You know, if you have to have a cry, have a cry. You know, nothing wrong with crying. Nothing wrong with releasing emotion. I'm an emotional person. Okay, I go from woo straight down to woo. I mean, I'm like that. You know, my partner's very even keel, looks at me like I'm a movie. You know, sometimes. You know, but I'm highly emotional. You've got to understand yourself. Maybe you're not, but if you're highly emotional, well, don't pretend you're not. You know, if you're having a bit of a challenging moment, cry if you have to. I cry, go and pat my dog, maybe go for a walk, play with my kids, feel a lot better, then I get back to it. Okay, the world's not going to end. Tomorrow's a new day. You know, you can handle it. You can do what you want to do and make it happen no matter what. You know, I guess if anything, that's what it is. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, darling. I am just wow. Is that the time? Wow, you can talk. I love that.
I know. I'm going to stop now. Jeez. I know you've got to get yourself organised for Denver and everything's happening. Where are you now? Anyway, I can't keep up with you.
I'm in Europe at the moment.
Oh, how exciting. So are you still in Greece, or have you left Greece?
No, we left Greece, and we're back here in our home base, which is Bucharest. That's where my husband's from. And we're just using this as a base to, you know, flit around Europe. We're going to go to Italy for a little bit. And when the winter comes, we want to go up to Austria and do some skiing. And, yeah, we're just using this as a hub. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, skiing. I remember skiing. It took me a whole day to learn how to ski.
I don't know how to ski. We're going to learn.
Oh, really? I haven't skied for many years. But anyway, before back issues, I used to love skiing. I was never great at it, you know, but it took me a whole day. And that's a little lesson there. I fell all day, fell on top of a priest, in fact. Couldn't snowplow. Trying to snowplow. And I had an Austrian teacher. He's like, Cristina, snowplow, Cristina. I'm like going down the mountain thinking, I'm trying. I'm like this red bullet because I had this full-on Michelin Man red sort of raincoat on, and I was just like a bullet down the beginner's hill and literally fell on top of the priest. He was very good about it, though. Took me all day to learn. You know, finally I got it, you know. If you can learn how to ski, you can build a business, okay?
I love it. Just keep getting back up. Keep getting back up.
Yeah, just keep getting back up. You fall on a priest. Oh, well.
Oh, man. So, sweetheart, darling, I just want to thank you so much for your time. I know that, you know, I really did, you know, kind of put some pressure on you, and I really, really thank you so much. I know you're doing so much to get, you know, ready for Denver, and I from the bottom of my heart, darling, I just can't thank you enough for the inspiration you gave me in my darkest hour to keep going so that I might be an inspiration to others, because
well,
you have no idea. I think, no, you do have an idea of how dark it was, and if we can be a light to other people going through their darkest hours, it's such a blessing. And you, my darling, you showed me the way, and I can't thank you enough. And it has been such an honor to finish the series that I've been doing since the last event, which was Chicago. I just wanted to do an entire series of motivational hangouts to show to our team. If you
Are you there?
just believe.
Mm.
Can
Yeah.
you hear me still? Yeah.
Yeah, I
So just
can.
what's
Absolutely.
possible
You've got to
if you
believe.
believe. Yeah.
And here's the thing, like it's like having a baton, you know, you sort of someone who's a little bit ahead of you hands you the baton and now you've got the baton, Erica, and you're out there handing the baton to other people. And I think that's what's so special about what we have here is that one by one that baton is getting passed.
Yeah.
And there are hundreds, now thousands of batons getting passed. And your success is gonna be another baton to someone else. Someone else is gonna reach out to you and you can hand them that baton. And it's just gonna go on. I mean, to know that what we do is meaningful, to know that what we do makes a difference in someone's life. I mean, that's why, you know, I feel like a kid in a candy store too, and I just feel almost a little bit guilty that I get to do what I do every single day and get paid so damn well for it, you know, without having to sell my soul for it, you know, which I never ever would, you know, you know, and to know that it's like this little ripple effect of people's lives being changed, and we're all interconnected. Everybody's important. Everybody is unique. Everybody has a special voice, and everybody deserves to be heard. And your story, whatever it may be, is no more important or no more special than anybody else's. But your story can have the power to impact one person that no other story could the same way. You know, so this is it's a mysterious thing, but it's a beautiful, gorgeous thing. And understand that when you're just going through the mechanics of your daily day, that you'll be inspiring other people, and the ripple effect of that, oh, who knows? You know,
Yeah,
it's great. I love what I do.
Yeah, and you have no idea who's watching you. You have
No,
no
you don't.
idea. So you may be sitting there, you know, wherever you are, and you think, oh my God, you know, nothing's happening. But trust me, people are watching you, and what they're watching for is to see if you're going to stick with this, and if you stick
Yep.
with it, can you make it work? So if
Yep.
you're out there, you know, listening to Christina and I, and you're thinking, nothing's working, trust me. The fact that you're still in the game, something's working. And people are watching you, and they need you to make this work so that then they can believe that they can make it work. So trust me, people are watching you.
Yeah, they are. Absolutely. But remain consistent. Just remain consistent. Remain there. Be yourself. Don't be anybody else. Be honest. Okay, and just focus on improving your skills every single day, because you take people on a journey with you, and then you'll find it'll all come together for you too. The penny will drop. It will. It always does. It always does. The only way you can fail is if you quit.
Exactly.
Okay, if you quit, I mean, there's no real. I mean, failure is part of how you succeed. I mean, it's a good thing to fail all the time. That's how you learn. It's part of how you learn anything: how to ski, how to drive a car, how to walk. Absolutely anything. But true failure, the worst type of failure, is when you don't do anything and don't do anything. You just sit there doing the same things all day, sit on the couch doing nothing. You don't learn anything. That to me is a walking death. Really, you know, that's sad. You know, that's nothing. But when you're just actively doing something, you can't fail if you don't give up. If you just stay in the game long enough, you'll succeed, because that's what happens to every single person that doesn't quit. Eventually, they get there too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they do.
Exactly. It's never a true word spoken, my darling. I've just noticed the
I'm
sun
not the
is
first
coming
who
up.
said it. Heaps of other people have said it. I'm just being a parrot.
But there'll be
But it's
someone
true, it's a
listening to us right
universal
now who's
message.
never heard that. So I just noticed that the sun is coming up behind me. That is hilarious.
Oh my God! Look at you! You're going to greet the day.
A beautiful dawn. A beautiful dawn. So,
well,
sweetheart, my
you're doing
darling,
fabulous at this hour.
I just want to thank you, darling, again.
You're most welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, sweetheart, again, you're an inspiration to so many, and it's going to be such an honor to see you up on stage in Denver. You've earned that position up on stage, and your story, your star, is just going to shine and spread so much joy to so many thousands of people, darling. And I bless the day that you accepted my private message. I bless the day that you responded to me on Facebook, and I can't thank you enough for being part of my story and inspiring me to build, you know, Team Alex and Erica, the Facebook group that we have, you know, the orphans that we adopt, because, you know, I was feeling so alone one night. And it started with you reaching out. No, it started with you accepting me, and I can't thank you enough. And for those of you watching, Team Alex and Erica, my Facebook friends, you know, people on our list, you know, watching us, what we're doing, I invite you to get involved. Check out what it is that we're doing that allows us to inspire the masses. There are links below this video. check out the company, check out the products, check out what we do, and just join us. It's changed my life. Christina, it's changed her life.
Yeah.
It's changing thousands of lives as we speak. And it's just been such an honor, Christina, to finish this motivational series with you.
Oh, thank you. I feel
Thank
honored that you feel that way. It's wonderful. Wow. Thank you.
Funny. Sometimes you just never know the impact you have on others. And you, my darling, I'll never forget what you did for me.
Wow.
And I took that baton and I plan to pass it on to thousands of people from now on.
Yep. Yep. That's my girl. Well done. That's what it's all about, you know. I mean, wow. I mean, now you've left me a bit speechless, really. I don't know what to say. No. Wow.
Well, that'll be a first.
Yeah, it is a first. See, door-to-door sales. I used to be mute when I was a teenager, but when you speak to 100 people a day, you get very good at talking. See, that's there you go. It's all skill, people. I wasn't born like this. Yeah, maybe. That's all it is. Just time. Time's great.
Time.
Yes.
And that was that one sentence, and I'll close it here. The one thing that Christina said to me that made all the difference in my life that one night was when she said, Erica, the only difference between you and me is time. And I want to leave you with that thought. The only difference between you watching, wherever you are in your business right now, and Christina and I and anyone else that you deem to be successful in your eyes, is time. We applied ourselves, we put in the hard yards, we learned the skills, and we applied them. And that's the only difference between us and you and wherever you're at is time. It just takes time, and your journey is unique to you. Never compare. Never, ever compare. Your journey is unique to you, and just know that people are watching you, and they are counting on you to succeed, because they know this. If you succeed, they can succeed. And on that note, my darlings, I will close out this series. And Christina, such an honor. And I can't wait to give you a massive hug in Denver. God bless you for all that you do. Steal the show. You're going to own it, my darling.
It'll be fun to be there. I'm just excited to be there. Stage, no stage, I could care less. I just want to be there.
Darling,
so I'm just really excited to meet you and meet everybody. It's just going to be fabulous.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, sweetheart, darling, once again, thank you very much to our viewers. Thank you for tuning in. This is the end of our series. And who knows what I'll be doing after Denver. Darlings, we're out. God bless you, and thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.